Hello, Keystone Algebra students. Today we are going to continue learning about data displays. So we spent a lot of time in our last lesson learning about box and whisker plots, and that's a way to represent data for us. Now we are going to look at stem and leaf plots. The biggest benefit about a stem and leaf plot is a great way to put numbers in numerical order. Right? So it's when we're trying to put the numbers in order to find the median and the lower quartile and the upper quartile, especially when our data set's really big, usually a box and whisker plot can be very beneficial for us. So most of the time, we group them by the last digit being in the same category, right? So we're going to have a stem portion, which usually represents the tens place. Sometimes it may represent the number to the left of the decimal, but we have to kind of figure out what we're looking at here. Okay, so the choice of what our stem is going to be is really going to be dependent on what our data is. If we're dealing with decimals, then we're going to handle that. Most of the time, they're going to be multiples of 10, and the leaves are typically the ones column in the place. But the important part is we want to make sure we find the key, because the key is going to tell us what's happening in our stem and leaf plot. And without the key, we're not really sure how to read the stem and leaf plot. Okay, because the numbers are going to be in order, it's going to be really easy to find the minimum, the median, and the maximum, as well as our lower and our upper quartile. So first, let's take a look at some stem and leaf plots here. Okay, so again, I want you to point out a few things. So first off, we want to find our key here. So this tells us that 2/5 really means 25. So right here, as it points out, this number is 39. So we get the 3 here for the tens column from our stem. The leaf tells us the 9. This number here ends up being 6. Again, this is our tens column, so 0, 6 is really just the number 6. We can pick out some other numbers here. This number will be 19. Again, 1 from the stem and 9 from the leaf. Let's look at the next one here. Okay, this is what's called a double stem and leaf plot. So again, we want to look at our key. So this tells us that the stem is going to represent the tens place, the leaf is going to represent the ones place. Okay, so let's look at some numbers here. So from this side, for numbers on the left-hand side, we're going to read from the center out to the right. So this number right here is going to represent the number 22. This number here is going to represent the number 56. Again, this is always our tens, this is our ones column. Now, it's when we have a double stem leaf plot and we look backwards, okay, and we want to look at, let's say, this number here. The stem is still going to be our tens. It doesn't matter if we're reading from right to left or from left to right. So this number right here represents 34. So all of these numbers have the 1 as the tens place, all of these numbers have the 2 as the tens place, all these have the 3, and so on and so forth. So again, if I want to read this number here, I start at the center of my tens, so it'll be 1, 4, so this number represents 114. So your stem is always, in this case, in this one, going to be your tens, or what you're looking at, and the numbers to the right and to the left are going to be our leaves. Okay, the last one, now notice here, this is a little bit different looking at our key, so 3, 2 represents 3.2. So if I look at this number right here, that's going to be 8.2. This number here is going to be 10.5. So the stem is the numbers to the left of the decimal. The leaves are the numbers to the right. So 5 here, this here is going to be 5.8. Okay, so I hope now that we have a little bit of understanding of looking at stem and leaf plots. The important part is to make sure that we always look and identify what our key is, because our key is going to tell us how to read the stem and leaf plot. So then you can go ahead now and watch the next video, which is going to talk about how do we use these data displays to analyze the data and maybe make some predictions moving forward.